Hey artists, in this video we are going to talk about our fruit slices project. So for this project what you're going to do is trace a circle stencil with pencil, and then you're going to outline it with a thick fine point Sharpie marker. And we're using that for the outline of the shape to give it a bold line weight. You want to draw many circles to make your composition more interesting. When you start practicing drawing the citrus and the kiwi, it's best to start with a circle that's on top and not covered by another circle so that you can really practice drawing the rind, the center, dividing it up into pieces and adding those triangles. When you're making the citrus, remember that you're going to have to do some erasing, so do that with pencil first and then add stippling to the rind and dashes inside of the pulpy parts of your citrus fruit. I find drawing the kiwi is a little bit easier. So when you're drawing the kiwi, you're going to draw lines and little dots for the seeds coming out of the middle. And then from the outside, you're going to draw lines coming in towards the center with different lengths. So some will be longer, some will be shorter. So you want to make sure that while you're working on yours, that you are thinking about what the center of the fruit actually looks like and how you're going to arrange your fruits on the page. So I'm going to show you again. Draw a smaller circle inside of your larger circle. Use a pencil so that if you mess up, you can erase it. And then draw a circle in the middle. And then divide the circle up by drawing lines coming out from the center to the edges. It's okay if you choose an even or an odd number. So sometimes I like to do 6 lines, sometimes I like to do 5 lines. They don't have to be very even. And then inside of those slices, you'll draw a rounded triangle shape. So we want to give some space by drawing rounded triangles so they're not all directly touching. And I like doing this with pencil first so that I can make sure that I like the way that it looks before I outline it, because you want to not trace everything. You just want to trace the triangle slices that we just drew, those rounded triangles. We're going to outline them with the Sharpie marker really carefully. And once we trace these rounded edged triangles, then we're going to trace the circle that shows the rind, so the skin of the fruit. And I like drawing it this way because I feel like it helps me get things more evenly spaced out. And now those guidelines, I'm going to do the stippling first in the rind. Now, depending on what size circle stencil you used, you might have more space or less space for stippling. So for your drawing, you might have used a 2-inch circle or a 3-inch circle stencil. So you might have like a thicker or thinner rind on your orange. And then I'm using like dashes, so directional lines coming from the center, going out to make the center part of the orange look more like a pulpy. The nice thing about this technique is that it will allow you to choose what material you want to color on top of very easily, where you could use colored pencil, oil pastel, watercolor. By doing this pen and ink first, it's going to make it easy to color. The kiwi fruit, you're going to start off with a little circle in the center, and then you're going to draw lines with a dot at the end. Lines with a dot at the end, and they can be different lengths, so some might be short, some might be longer. And that's okay because the kiwi has like a row or two of seeds when you slice it down the center. So some of them might look shorter or longer. And then we're also going to use the Sharpie marker to outline everything on our kiwi. So if you want to do a pattern, short, long, you can do that, but it's okay if it's random lengths. And then use the Sharpie to go over those lines and dots coming from the center. I chose not to trace the circle that I initially draw for the kiwi. You may choose to trace that circle, but I think that the lines coming together make enough of a visual image of the circle. Then we're going to draw lines that come from the outside going into the center. I want to make it not look like a clock. I don't want them to all be the same length. So I try to make some longer and some shorter so that it has a little bit of variety to the type of lines. And it's okay if some of your lines touch the center, but we just want to make sure that it has enough variety. I can't wait to see what you do with your art project.